My name is Aditya. I'm a customer engineer at Google Cloud. Today, I'll be walking through how to get started with Apigee via an exciting new consumption model. First, I'll do a quick recap of the business value of APIs and what benefits full lifecycle API management can bring. Next, we'll jump into a demo where we'll walk through many of the key features of Apigee. Finally, I'll demonstrate how to get started with Apigee from the GCP console. Many of us already know that the abbreviation API stands for Application Programming Interface, but that doesn't fully communicate the true value of APIs. At Apigee, we consider APIs to be the digital front door for your business. Let's take a look at this example. On the back end, you might have a combination of legacy and modern applications that serve a variety of business needs. But that doesn't really matter for customers, whether they are your end customers, partners, or even employees. What matters to them is how they can interact with your services and data. New experiences, devices, and interfaces are constantly emerging. For example, everything from mobile devices and tablets to smart cars and voice assistants. APIs are what enable developers, both internal and external, to build for these experiences by leveraging their own expertise while effectively engaging with the unique value and capabilities of your business and its services. We call this outside in thinking. Instead of simply planning on how best to expose the existing services from your backend systems, we encourage customers to think from the end user perspective first and design the APIs that enable developers to build those experiences. When you go consumption first in this way, you're allowing the market to innovate on your behalf at a much faster pace than what is possible with your own resources alone. Apigee is the underlying platform that provides you the key capabilities you need to have a stable, secure, highly scalable, and fully instrumented API program. When you think about APIs as the business assets that we've outlined just now, you'll want to manage them with the same rigor as any other software asset. You'd want to start by designing your APIs, and the output of this could just be an open API specification depending on the experiences that you wish to support. Then your developers would need to develop the APIs and they should be able to do it rapidly without having to do a lot of extra or repetitive work. Then the systems need to be integrated with the APIs, and then you want to apply industry standard security across all layers of the API stack. Then the API should be deployed on a reliable and scalable platform. And once they're available, you want to publish these APIs and ensure that your partners and other developers get to know how to use those APIs. Then you should be able to monitor the operational metrics of your APIs as well as analyze the business metrics that are being contributed to by your API program. Potentially, you might even want to monetize your APIs and create a new revenue channel directly from your API program. While it looks like that's the end of the road in this diagram, in fact, that's just the start. After analysis and feedback from your ecosystem, you would essentially go back to step one in order to iterate, design, and rebuild or build new capabilities on your API. And the process continues. Now, Apigee comes with all the tools you need out of the box to rapidly implement a mature API management strategy at your organization. Let me show you what I mean. Today, we'll be looking at a example business called the Online Boutique. Online Boutique have modernized a number of their systems to support a new storefront. This is what it looks like. It's a fairly typical shopping experience for now. You can browse through the available products, you can add products to your cart, and then give all your details and check out and place the order. Online Boutique have built a number of microservices that support these activities on the backend. And they've made these services secure and discoverable internally by leveraging Anthos Service Mesh. This has enabled their development teams to execute independently and deploy rapidly, while also enabling security between the services. So, at a glance, you can tell that traffic enters from the UI, hits the front end, and then proceeds to flow to the right microservice as required. And some services, as is typical for microservices, actually depend on a number of other services to get the job done. Each of these services, when they speak to each other, Anthos Service Mesh is able to secure the communication with mutual TLS. You're able to secure authorization rules before communication occurs. And Online Boutique is able to see the metrics of the services on GCP natively in terms of what is the traffic flowing to the individual microservices. But now they have a number of new requirements. They're trying to execute against their partner strategy, and they'd like to open up access to the catalog and the recommendation systems to third party platforms. They wish to enable shipping to be trackable across their supply chain partners. And a major partner has also asked for being independently able to push payments through the system. To accommodate all these requests, Online Boutique developers can open up access to these microservices that they've built. They might even be able to apply security policies to that traffic. But a lot more features are required to support these asks in depth. And we'll be going through some of those examples as we move forward. What's more, developers have to modify code for these custom security requirements, and potentially they are introducing new maintenance and productivity difficulties. Let's see how Apigee can help. First, as an API developer, I would open up Apigee and navigate to the proxy section. Here, I can build these high level abstract API abstractions called API proxies. Let's take a look at the products proxies. Each proxy serves a base path and all the underlying paths beneath it, and connects to a target endpoint, a configured target endpoint. So it's typical to have a base path or an API proxy that serves a microservice, for example. Now, within the proxy, I am able to attach a number of pre-built features via these bundles of functionality called policies. We've got four main types of policies, which are around traffic management, security, mediation, and extension. So, for traffic management, we've got a number of useful features for managing the concurrency of your traffic, controlling how many API calls are made by various types of parties to your API, as well as scalability improvement by the built in cache functionality. On security, we've got a wide breadth and depth of features, everything from basic authentication to JSON and XML threat protection against malformed inputs to OAuth authorization server features that fully support all four authentication and authorization flows on OAuth, as well as API key validation, JOT token validation, and SAML validation as well. With mediation, you're able to orchestrate calls to multiple services to get the job done, because you do not want a end developer to have to make a call to five different services to make the API call succeed. You're also able to integrate with legacy services that might only speak XML, whereas your services might only speak JSON. And in cases where you need to write custom code, you can, in fact, write your own policies using JavaScript, Python, and Java. For example, I can attach a policy to control concurrency overall to this API proxy by adding the spike arrest policy. I can make sure that it executes before any other policy by placing it visually in front of the other policies on the request flow. And also, I can actually control these policies by passing parameters. For example, if I want to make sure that not more than 300 requests per second are sent to my backend from the various API callers, then I can set up 300 per second as the rate for the spike arrest policy. Next, I would like to make these APIs available for consumption by my partners. This is where I would navigate away from proxies and to this concept called API products. Here, I can create a new product and easily decide which APIs are available and what quota should be set. For example, if I don't want developers to send more than 100 requests per second, then I can set up that quota over here. And additionally, I can also set up various operations. I can actually control that it's going to be the product's proxy, but it's all the paths under product proxy, but only get requests are allowed, such that I don't allow any other write requests and make sure there's a read only API. So I can hit save, but in fact, I have another API product that I previously created called the products API. And now I would like the developers to be able to discover these API products, and I don't want to have to send them an email containing a document on how to actually use these APIs. So for that, Apigee provides a built-in functionality called developer portals. I can create a new portal by simply adding a plus button, and I can control what a developer portal looks like, and I can create multiple portals to enable communication with different types of partners. And on this developer portal, I can decide which APIs are actually visible via the API catalog. And as an example, I've added the products API that we looked at earlier. Hit publish, and also attached an API specification. That's important, and I'll show you why in just a second. An API specification is simply a YAML file or a JSON file that actually describes the inputs and outputs to your API. And by attaching that, Apigee is able to generate documentation on that portal. I can even control what the portal actually looks like by going to the theme section and changing out the CSS and logos right here on the Apigee UI. Now, when I click on View Portal, I'm taken to the live portal. I've already signed up and confirmed my email, and I created a test app and got an API key. With that API key, I'm able to go and browse the APIs that are available, and the products API that we had just built earlier, the API product is visible on this portal. I can browse the paths that are available on that API, and I can actually see the input and output schemas and browse that. What's more, I'm actually able to authorize my with using the app that I had built earlier, and I'm able to execute API calls right here on the portal and get a feel for this API. As a developer, this is everything I need to rapidly get started with an API and build new things for your business without having to consume too much of your own developer's time. Now, this API is available and it's published, and there are potentially developers building a lot of features against it, and you would like to understand how it's being used. For that, you would essentially go into Apigee's deep analytics capabilities and browse those capabilities. For this, I would actually like to switch to another environment where I have a lot more data already. So here you can see that I can see a number of operational metrics such as the total traffic, the error rate, the latency percentile of the API proxies themselves. But what's more, in a single view, I'm also able to see what was the traffic driven to the backend by Apigee, what is the latency percentile being exhibited by the backend services, and what's the error rate looking like. In addition to that, I am able to dive much deeper into each of these specific numbers, and I'm able to filter by various time periods that I might be interested in and get a in-depth insight of Apigee's performance and the API proxy performance. In addition to these operational metrics, I'm also able to get some business metrics. For example, I can query who is the developer that has the most popular app that is driving the traffic. And I can dive deeper into what proxies are being used by this app and that developer. And if I see some interesting traffic, I can actually reach out to that developer and understand how I can better help them because they're helping my business by driving so much traffic to my app. And I can also get insights about the end users that are using my system. I can see what type of devices are being used and where these users are actually from. And I can actually dive pretty deep into down to the province level of any given country as well. Finally, the important thing to note is that all these dashboards and metrics are collected out of the box by Apigee, and the dashboards are available with zero configuration. So you can already get a very good idea about your API program's performance by simply opening the analytics tab of Apigee as soon as you set up some proxies. But you can also build custom reports and you can build custom reports out of custom metrics and custom pieces of data that are collected by Apigee by leveraging this section of Apigee. So that has been a quick tour of Apigee and its most important capabilities. As a next step, I believe you should start out with Apigee. And to proceed with that, we have Apigee. We're thrilled to announce that Apigee is now available from the GCP console directly, and it's available via a new consumption model called pay as you go, where you only consume and pay for that consumption of Apigee. I can now demonstrate to you how you can create a new Apigee instance by going into your GCP console. Here's how to get started with Apigee Pay As You Go. Navigate to the project where you would like to deploy Apigee. Note that this project cannot contain any other existing Apigee deployments, such as an evaluation organization. From here, navigate to Apigee from the hamburger menu. Click on Setup Apigee and paste in the project ID. You can click on Use Pay As You Go and finish the rest of the setup using this configuration wizard. Alternatively, you can also visit apigee.google.com/setup, paste in the project ID, and click on Use Pay As You Go. Let us know if you have any questions.